I'll be there for you. Nice, we'll start up for tonight. बजरंग बली की जय। जो ना बोले उसी को दे। राघव दादा नहीं आया यार अभी तक। भाई I'll be there for you. Mama, 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 mama. I'll be there for you. Na, 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 na. अरे यार फोर्टनाइट चालू नहीं हो रहा, क्या मजाक है यार। मैंने मार देना यार फोर्टनाइट ने यार, मैन चल नहीं रहा। ओह चालू हो गया फोर्टनाइट, बता क्या इंसान हूँ भाई मैं। ओह I don't give a damn about this skin either. This shit ass bitch ass skin. Please, please God, give it to me. Someone give it to me. It's a very good skin. Oh, they're bringing back. Oh no. Hey, OG. Divine. Bro, this rap is so good. Nah, I don't like this. Jiggle. Let's get right into the games. Right into the games. What's pooping? What? Why? What? What you said to me, friend? Ooh, Harike. Hello.
अरीना स्क्वाड्स।
हाँ अरीना स्क्वाड्स आ जाओ। हाँ बेस्ट।
पॉइंट्स कितने हैं, किसके ज्यादा तो नहीं है ना? बहुत
मेरे 2000 है।
मेरे 2600 है। हृदय
770।
अच्छा ओ 770।
ये लाइन है ज्यादा।
हाँ मुझे लगा 7770।
घंटे लगेंगे। ईटीए देख रहा है 2 मिनट 23 सेकंड। एटलीस्ट हाफ एन आवर।
क्या हाफ एन आवर?
हो जाएगा
चालू हो जाएगा 2 मिनट में।
2 मिनट होंगे तो नॉर्मल स्क्वाड चलेंगे, अगर 2 मिनट से ज्यादा हुआ था।
I don't want to play normal squad.
मेरे को भी।
This guy's name is so savage, dude.
Oh hello.
Stop dancing, dude.
Yes, stop dancing.
क्या?
Hurry gay.
Then why are you dancing now?
I'm just चुटकी बजाएंगा. Jazz knows dance.
I want to reach 20 level. It's
भाई चार्ट पढ़ ले ढंग से हर एक बार. Hello trouser, I don't know why I typed that message. कर दिया आप टाइप. कुछ कर सकते हैं क्या बताओ मेरे को. डिलीट कर देते हैं. अरे यार अब मेरा बग्ड हो जाएगा यार. हट. लाइक कर दो यार स्ट्रीम को प्लीज. क्या बोल रही पब्लिक. भाई पब्लिक आप हो भाई. आप बताओ. पम 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 पम. भाई यार मेरा माइक बग हो गया यार. Public wants you to do. Okay, if you give me 1,000 rupees, I'll do that. 1,000 rupees donation right now. I'll bring my mom's phone. I'll turn on my webcam and I'll do that. Only 1,000 rupees. That's it. I'll legit do it. Brr moment. I'm going solo then. Back idiot. I am 100% serious. दिनेश से बात हुई क्या? नहीं हुई बात. I'll go solos. The fuck is the thumbnail? It's a Hindu channel. Just kidding. It's a not naked. Fuck no. Yeah. Guys, like up the stream. Not with 10,000, not naked. I'll get like removed from YouTube. You know. I'll get banned. भाई कोई लाइक नहीं कर रहा है स्ट्रीम को यार. नाइस. बेबी डॉल हम सोने दी. बेबी डॉल हम सोने दी. दुनिया पित्तल दी. दुनिया पित्तल दी. Baby doll, I'm sonne di. Baby doll, I'm sonne di. See right now there is a fan above me, Heady. What do you mean? ये दुनिया पित्तल दी. ये दुनिया पित्तल दी. ये दुनिया पित्तल दी. Baby doll, I'm sonne di. Baby doll, I'm sonne di. Nan, 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 nan. GG's only. GG's. What are you saying about? I don't get it, my man. Trouser. Really sorry, but yeah, trouser. What? Why? No, don't do it, Mama. What? I clap your cheeks hard. Are you okay with that? Why? Like up the stream, or you gay? Wait, what is this? Ego tagging post. Oh, ego tagging post. What is that? I ain't having ego. What do you mean? Why am I landing here? Oh, blue AR. My man. What the hell is the game so laggy? Wanna roast me? Huh? I would roast you, but my mom said I'm not allowed to burn trash. You don't want beef with a cow lover. Oh my god, the big people in chat. Red bandana. Hola amigos. Adios señor. Bye bye. Just kidding. Should I roast your name? I am already roasted, man. I am burnt. See me here for seeing my bot friend play. Yes, sir. I ain't bot. Tell that your mom. Just kidding. I ain't a bot. I ain't a roaster. Because I don't have a toaster. I am so cringe. Unsubscribe right now. Just kidding. कौन से स्टैंडर्ड में है तू? मैं हूँ 9वीं क्लास में. 14-year-old नीबा. हम 9वीं कक्षा में हैं. भाई ढंग की लूटी नहीं ली भाई इधर तो. I love being the niche insan. Oh, what? New outfit? Oh, there's a zippy liney. Na 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 na. Aha. Near fire, wherever you are, I believe that. Hello guys, welcome to my ASMR. Oh, what's going on, chica? I'm scrapping the cholo. Oh, pampa. Hello guys, ASMR. Okay now? Should I add your clip in my montage where I gave you headshot with heavy sniper midair on 250 ping? Yes sir, you can do yes, 100%. But you need to, like, you know, give me credits for dying. Like, dying to you. No? Or else Pavan will make a video. Trozer killed Cowpea and didn't even give him credits. Oh shit. I can't believe 5 people are watching you, man. Yo, chill. You'll be unmodded. Chill with that. It was the time when you were playing in mobile and wearing soccer skin. Oh, so you stream sniped me. I see, I see. I am an OG when only I used to be the only one watching. Yes, sir. That's why you're the mod. I usually only give mods to OG people, you know. If you want mod, I'm really sorry. You're not an OG. भाई 4 लाइक आए हैं भाई, सिर्फ 4 लाइक. मैंने बहुत मार देना, लाइक नहीं करा तुमने तो. Did you like chapter 2? I love chapter 2. It's 100% better than chapter 1. It's just a bit laggy, you know. I don't know how it will be on mobile. अबे creative खेल रहे थे पर. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, you can use anything, man. You don't have to ask. You can just put it in. I don't give a damn. Did you like chapter 2 of science? I will cut you in 7 pieces. Don't talk to me about science. You can talk to me about any other subject than science. Bruh, where are the people at? यार मैथ भी नहीं यार. चल ठीक है, मैथ फिर भी ठीक है भाई. मैथ का चैप्टर. No, I did not. I do not like maths and science. Why you bully me? आर्या पार्क. बजरंग बली की जय. बढ़िया. हाँ. You got 81 or 18. I got 82%, not 18%. All right. भाई कहाँ से जाऊँ मैं? भाई मैं तो खाई में फंस गया. कोई मुझे यहाँ से बचाए. कि घर कब आओगी, कि घर कब आओगी. ना 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 ना. बाय बाय. ला 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 ला. La 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 la. कौन है भाई? कौन है भाई? क्यों भाई? क्यों कष्ट पहुंचा रहे हो हमें? चुब्बे चुदिए. ओके. हाँ, थर्ड पार्टी आ गई भाई. बहुत बढ़िया. हाँ भाई, क्यों भाई, क्या हो गया? हाँ, और थर्ड पार्टी आ जाओ भाई. बहुत ही बढ़िया. इससे बढ़िया हो सकता है कुछ जिंदगी में मेरे? है बे, बहुत बिल्ड फाइट लेने का तेरे को। चिपड़े अबे अरे यार भाई यार क्या थर्ड पार्टी है भाई ये गेम। सब्सक्राइब कर दो ना। ओ भाई रोबो मैक्स के 5 मैसेज। ब्रो यू वांट अकाउंट जीटी। उई 250 रुपये में, ये 250 रुपये में अकाउंट जरा भाई। भाई क्या बंदा है भाई ये, क्या फ्लेक्स करता है यार ये। मैं वापस आऊंगा if you want shout out on Instagram, use code copy healthy and send them a screenshot, or wherever you want a shout out, I'll give you shout out. कि घर का क्या शिट स्किन है यार ये। कोई स्ट्रीम पे इतना चुप। Oh my god, they do not like the cringe content. I sent screenshot. Where screenshot you send, huh? Anyone have friends in real life? I'm curious. Alright, where did you send me screenshot? What is on Instagram? I give shout out. Did you buy battle pass with my code? My aim is so good. Oh, sweaty build fight. I'm getting better. Johnny Singh. Johnny, Tommy, Timmy, Tommy, Johnny, Tommy, Tinny, Tommy, Johnny, Tommy, Tinny, Tommy, Johnny, Tommy, Tinny, Tommy, Tommy, Tommy.
अरे कॉपी भैया क्या हालचाल है?
कौन है बे? कौन है बे साले?
अरे भैया भैया वो जिस
हम कह रहे हैं
क्या कह रहे हो भाई?
भैया कॉमेडी खोलती है, सबकी कॉमेडी खोलती है हमने, टेंशन ना लो।
आप कौन है?
आप कौन है भाई? अपना नाम बताइए भाई।
भगवान बोला ये टेंशन ना ले, भावनाओं पे ना
चलो गाइस मैं जाता थोड़ा पढ़ता फिर
निकल पहली फुर्सत में निकल, कोई जरूरत नहीं है तेरी।
अटैक मिल गए भाई।
और बता कॉपी क्या हाल चाल चल रहे थे?
बढ़िया भाई, आप बताओ।
बस भाई कट रही है जिंदगी, काट रही है लड़कियां।
अच्छा भाई,
भैया आपको कोई मिले ना तो बताना जरूर, वो जो मतलब साथ दे।
फिर वो आपको क्यों देगा?
तेरे को देगा फिर किसी से कर लिए।
खूब,
काफी मेरे दोस्त हैं।
बिल्कुल भाई।
हाँ काफी।
14 साल की लड़की दूंगा आपको, 14 साल की लड़की, क्यों?
नहीं यार ये तो नहीं यार।
है ना?
केस करवाएगा, ये दिखने के बंदा गलत है। ये बंदा गलत है भाई, यूजर ये केस करवाएगा, लिखवा के ले ले।
तो भाई और क्या बोलो अभी मैं?
कोई मेरे को दिलवा दे, चल मैं खुश हूँ।
14 साल की साले, 12 साल के
तो
लड़के।
तो खुश नहीं रहेगा बेटे, उसे कहते हैं मैं शौक में रहूंगा तभी। हाँ।
अच्छा
काफी।
हाँ भाई।
अच्छा तुम मेरी गर्लफ्रेंड हो?
आई लव यू।
अरे मुझे पता ही नहीं।
मुझे तो पता नहीं था तुम मेरी गर्लफ्रेंड हो।
ये कब हुआ?
ये कब हुआ?
अच्छा मैं सो के उठ गया। ठीक है, तुम अभी भी हो मेरी गर्लफ्रेंड, कब तक रहोगी?
जब तक तुम कहोगे बेबी। मैं तो जिंदगी भर तुम्हारे साथ रहना चाहता हूँ बेबी।
ये सब कुछ सही नहीं है।
टिंकू पिंकू नाम भी सोच लिया मैंने तो।
लड़के का नाम रखेंगे सिलबट्टा।
और दूसरे का स्टार की।
हंसना था वैसे तेरे अलावा कोई
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल हंसी वाली बात नहीं थी।
मेरे को तो आई ना हंसी, बस मैं खुश हूँ। मेरे को आपसे मतलब नहीं, हंसना हंसा नहीं। नहीं
तेरा क्या जा रहा है तेरे तेरे पे क्या झंड मारा? बच्चा है बच्चा है। सच में नहीं कहता, तुमने कोई किसी ने मूवी देखी हो उसमें मतलब एक बंदा कहता है मेरी भी शादी का नंबर आ गया। अरे मुकेश ये तो भी बच्चा है। बच्चा है।
नहीं भाई हमने नहीं देखी ऐसी मूवी।
ऐसी मूवी नहीं देखते हैं, इसी को
अरे देखी थी मैंने यार किसी बॉलीवुड मूवी में।
हम भाई हॉलीवुड नहीं देख, हम बॉलीवुड मूवी नहीं देखते भाई, इतनी सस्ती भाई। हम तो सिर्फ और सिर्फ टॉलीवुड देखते हैं।
हम भोजपुरी देखते हैं, टॉलीवुड का है उसके सामने।
तो डूब के मर जाओगे, एक काम करो तुम डूब के मर जाओगे।
चुल्लू भर पानी में।
कोई जरूरत नहीं है। कोई जरूरत नहीं है आपके यहाँ पे।
कहीं भी नहीं है जरूरत तुम्हारी। अजीब पागल बंदा है भाई, गायब ही हो गया।
उसे कहते हैं भगने की निंजा टेक्निक, उसे पता है तू उसे मार देगा, तो इससे पहले तुम उसे मारो वो भाग लिए।
तो यहीं कहीं छुपे हुए हैं। भाई छुपन छुपाई खेलनी है तो भाई
आ जाओ कभी हवेली में।
हाँ बंदूकें चल रही हैं इधर तो। ओ भाई ये तो ट्राई हार्ड निकला भाई, मैं मर गया
बहुत हार्ड
भाई। खोपचे में बैठा था, इसने मेरे को वन टैग कर दिया।
देख ले वन टैप का इतना था वो।
वन टैग
वन टैप करा।
वन टैग का था।
बहुत हार्ड नाम देखा तूने उसका?
आई एम वेरी रिलीजियस।
फ्रेंड को सेंड कर वाली सुना अच्छी।
हम भी आ जाएंगे।
दैट्स व्हाई आई हैव दिस इमोट। किसी के पास है भरतनाट्यम इमोट?
ना भाई ऐसी खतरनाक चीजें।
किस बात का भारतीय हो भाई तुम? एक लौती भारतीय चीज आई स्टोर में।
तो भाई
इनको कुछ पता ही नहीं है भाई।
ये कब हुआ?
ये कब हुआ? मैं कहाँ हूँ मम्मी?
जब तुम इंजेक्शन लगा रहे थे स्टार्ट तो मैं तो
क्या कर रहा था मैं?
आई हैव इट।
इंजेक्शन
ओह
लगा रहे थे ना नसों में तो है। क्या हो गया भाई, सब ठीक है?
हाँ भाई बिल्कुल।
ये यूजर है ना मनुष्य भाई, ये अभी स्टार के ठीक नहीं है लौंडे भाई, ये सब करो कुछ भाई।
मनहूस माने?
भाई मनहूस करो भाई।
मनहूस। मनहूस औरत नहीं, काली।
पहले हम
काली विधवा कौन है?
मंटी को
ये क्या चल रहा है भाई? काली
मंटी वगैरह भी चीजें सिखाओ।
भाई, काली विधवा भी आई है भाई कभी स्टोर में। कौन देख रहा? गंदा सा वीडियो है।
अरे नहीं यार गंदा
बिग ब्रेन टाइम।
गाना है।
काली विधवा। ए गाना मत लगाओ, कॉपीराइट है।
स्ट्रीम कर रहा है
हाँ भाई क्यों नहीं?
कोई नहीं, एक स्ट्रीम पे कॉपीराइट आ
भाई मेरी कल पूरी स्ट्रीम कॉपीराइट, मेरी स्ट्रीम का नाम ही था कॉपीराइट स्ट्रीम।
कोई नहीं, आज की कॉपीराइट या तू म्यूट कर देना।
हाँ मैं कर रहा हूँ, वही कर रहा हूँ। अरे यार रुको, कर रहा हूँ। Just think about it.
कंट्रोलर का क्या करोगे आप? नेम नया किया वही इससे बढ़िया ना उसको बेच के ना Xbox का ले लो। Xbox में ना कम होगा और PS4 में थोड़ा सा ले लो।
तेरे पे रखा है तू दे।
मेरे पास PS4 का है, Xbox का भी है बट वो वायर लगानी पड़ेगी।
तो दोस्त में भी लगानी पड़ेगी।
मार दिया, मार दिया, हाँ मार दिया। लेट्स गो। कुत्ते की मौत मर गए दोनों। और कौन आ गया भाई?
इतनी खुशी मुझे।
आई विल कॉपी स्ट्राइक यू। ओके बंडी। हेडी हेडी करेगा भाई मेरे को कॉपी स्ट्राइक। ये दिन आ गए मेरे।
पहले मुंह धो, पहले उससे कहते मुंह धोना सीख ले पहले।
मुंह धोना सीख ले भाई हेडी पहले। इतना बुरा दिन नहीं आया मैं तेरे से कॉपी स्ट्राइक लूंगा मैं।
जो तुम चाहोगे।
बड़ा पछताओगे। ये
गलत गलत
मैं मर गया ना।
मैं निंजा हथौड़ी आ गया हूँ।
डू 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 डू।
मैं निंजा हथौड़ी आ गया हूँ। पहाड़ों के ऊपर जंगल के पार। And what if I do it? Why is CS9 so toxic? Why are you so toxic?
बड़ी भैया
ओ भाई ओ हम लोग कहते
Toxic.
हम तो सहते ही नहीं।
हाँ वो देखो टॉक्सिक बोले तू सहेगा।
बिल्कुल। Toxic.
कौन बोल रहा है ये?
कौन बोला?
हड्डी 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 है हड्डी।
यार ये हेडी को ना
पता ही नहीं यार, ऐसे नहीं बोलते
हैं
हैं,
यार।
ऐसे नहीं बोलते हड्डी नाना।
नहीं मैं सीरियसली बोल रहा हूँ, मैं मजाक से हट के बोल रहा हूँ। आवाज आ रही है तो सुधर।
नहीं
ओके बोल रहा है, ओके बोल रहा है मेरे को।
वरना गुजर जाए।
बड़े भैया आ जाएंगे।
वरना बिगड़ा रहा है।
नहीं वरना गुजर जाए।
If I hurt your feelings, sorry.
ओह
ओह माय गॉड। बड़ी
हम तो इंग्लिश आती ही नहीं।
नहीं नहीं,
भाई
क्या हो गया भाई?
100 बिल्ली खा के 100 चूहे खा के बिल्ली आ जाती है देखिए।
दिल जाए मुझे जहाँ
बड़ी
हवाएं हवाएं।
बड़ी तू किसी को मतलब वो भी नहीं कर सकता कैसा इंसान
नाउ व्हाट नाउ व्हाट अब क्या?
अब मजे ले जिंदगी के भाई। एक बार मिलती है जिंदगी।
जिंदगी ना मिलेगी।
Why is everyone like भाई बाही 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 क्या होता है? बाही बाही लिखा है, भाई भाई नहीं लिखा तूने भाई।
मस्त चीज है।
बा
फ्राई करके खा जाओ।
बाही बाही खाने की चीज है कोई?
वाही वाही रोल।
ये बाही बाही क्या है? ये बाही बाही
मैं हिंदी गा क्या बोल रहा भाई? मानसिक संतुलन ठीक है तेरा?
चाहते क्या हो? कहना क्या चाहते हो? ये बताओ।
अरे भाई कहना क्या चाहते हो? ऐसे ओ भाई क्या है भाई, लोग को ढंग से पेड़ तोड़ने नहीं देते यार। हाँ भाई और आरपीजी फेंक दे भाई। अरे यार क्या इंसान है यार। कुत्ते के मत मरेगा भाई तू। बमबारी कर रहा भाई। एक्सियम शाउट आउट, अरे शाउट आउट एक्सियम को, शाउट आउट प्लीज शाउट आउट एक्सियम।
क्या 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 मतलब?
भाई शाउट आउट दे रहा हूँ मैं उसको यार, डिसरिस्पेक्ट मत करो।
मैंने ज्यादा ठीक नहीं है।
अरे यार
क्या नाम है तेरे चैनल का?
काउ पीस हेल्दी।
हाँ गणेश जी की बोल रहे। तुमने लगा रखा है इसने। अरे भाई बजरंग बली की जय। ओ
सही है कीप इट अप।
छोड़ दो।
क्या चाह रहा भाई तू? क्या आपने स्ट्रीम हनुमान के भरोसे छोड़ दी है? बिल्कुल भाई, हमने अपनी जिंदगी हनुमान के भरोसे छोड़ दी। आप आगे बताइए।
हनुमान जी के भक्त हैं इसलिए सच हैं।
अरे यार क्या है भाई से? अरे यार एक शॉट नहीं लग रहा मेरा।
अबे दो में
अब लग जा। ए गिर गया। ए
Come on, yo.
बीच वर्ड बोलिए ना तो। रो रहा है क्या कर रहा है तू? हाँ ये बोल रहा है ये सोनिया।
शाउट आउट दे। अरे शाउट आउट टू एक्सियम। मैं एक्सियम मेरे को नाम सुना सुना लग रहा है, थोड़ा कंट्रोवर्सी वाला, बुरा मत मानना। शाउट आउट टू अनन्या भाई।
Feeling तोड़ा।
हम तुम्हें ही तोड़ देंगे।
तार सैनी की वीडियो देखी वो?
कौन सी?
हाँ वो देखी मैंने।
क्या कोई नया वीडियो डाला है?
शाउट आउट टू हेड बकरी ऑन लकड़ी।
कौन सा वीडियो डाला है उसने ताकि मैं
बकरी हेडी ऑन स्टिक्स। हेडी मतलब क्या होता है भाई? मतलब
हड्डी को हेडी बोलते हो।
आई एम नॉट बकरी, यू आर नॉट बकरी, देन यू आर लकड़ी। गोटेड ऑन द स्टिक्स। अरे मेरा वेकेशन अभी नहीं है, 2 दिन बाद है।
ओले चकीरो दा
कल स्कूल नहीं जा रहा, वो अलग बात है।
अब तो कौन सी क्लास में
मैं 9वीं कक्षा में हूँ।
हैं?
9वीं कक्षा में हूँ मैं।
9th में?
हाँ
मेरे को लगा तू 11th 12th में होगा।
नहीं भाई, हम अभी नाबालिग हैं।
आ रहा था तेरे यहाँ तो तेरे घर पे शादी की बात होने वाली थी, तूने बोल
अरे भाई
तभी तो बोलता था मैं 14 तक लड़की दूंगा। समझ ही नहीं आता है यार।
तो तू 14 साल की देखा, उससे पूछो उसकी कोई बड़ी बहन भी है।
नहीं भाई,
अरे मेरे को चलेगा तू
बट यू आर जस्ट 1 more year big than me. I thought you are in call भाई। I'm भाई I feel I'm very disappointed.
आया काऊ भी तू मेरी बात करवाना, ठीक है?
बिल्कुल भाई।
ठीक है।
मम्मा तो क्या बोल रहा है ये?
आंटी आपका
तू पहले अपनी माता जी का नंबर दे जरा राजू से। मैं करवाता हूँ तेरी बात।
हाँ लिखो।
इधर बोलेगा तो ये बोलेगा, इधर बोलेगा नहीं नहीं नहीं, ठीक है अरे मम्मी मेरे को कुछ चाहिए ही नहीं, तू झूठ बोल रहा है अब।
नो
बड़े भैया वो रक्षाबंधन की राखी बनवानी थी, इसलिए मांग रहा था नंबर।
ना मेरी मम्मी सब में इतना
भाई
होती। पर जब तू हरकतें करेगा ना ऐसे कि हाँ यार वो भी
हम पियेंगे खुले में। ओ भाई नहीं, मजाक कर रहा हूँ मैं तो।
आंटी जी ये देखो क्या कह रहा था आपका लौंडा, ये बोल रहा है आपको सब
मारो इसमें 100 जीत।
बटाई बटर फिर जो उसकी जो कर दिया आंटी ने, इसको बुंदला दिया लौंडा पूरा।
भाई कहाँ भाग रहे हो भैया? अकेले भागोगे?
छोड़ कर जो तुम जाओगे
बड़ा पछताओगे। भाई अलग ही भाग रहा है बंदा तो।
तन्हा
भाई कहाँ है भाई? ये क्या मजाक है यार? ऐसे प्लेयर्स बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं है।
ओए किससे और ले तू कॉल ना सही।
भाई यार हट यार, मैंने फिर कैंप करना है। मैं लास्ट में ऐसे ही मरा था।
ओ मेरे जानी चेहरा लाओगे पूरा दिन हिलाओ।
अरे यार एक गंदी नोटिफिकेशन क्यों आ रही है यार?
मेरे पास ये किसका है? ट्विच का, ट्विच से किसी का मेला है बड़ी।
बाय द वे दैट स्टोरी यू केप्ट ऑफ द कमेंट। यार मैं चार्ट नहीं पढ़ रहा यार, हट यार। अबे यार हट। अरे यार भाई हटे यार। The story you kept of that comment from some video was कौन सी?
बड़े भैया
जी भाई अब से मैं थोड़ा गेम में फोकस करूंगा भाई। बहुत ज़्यादा मजाक हो गया, बहुत मस्ती मजाक हो गई है। अब हम थोड़ा खेलेंगे अच्छे से। Oof.
Copy, are you from UP?
I am from UP but I live in Gujarat, unfortunately.
ओ तेरी तभी टोन तेरा गुजराती जैसा है।
भैया इसको सब पता है, आपने मतलब यूजर को हर चीज पता है, गुजराती कैसे
पता क्या है, टोन तो पता
टोन
ही
कैसे
है
बोल-
भाई।
Unfortunately, yes sir. It was a long comment. Can say what it. Bro, cowpea is equal to controversy. Okay, bring it in.
ओ माय गॉड, कंट्रोवर्सी चाहिए।
Controversy is equal to free clout.
इससे मेरे को एक ही आदमी का नाम याद आता है।
पवन सॉरी क्या बोला?
नहीं एक ही राखी भैया। सैविज सैनी।
अरे तू सैवसैनी को जानता है कॉपी?
बिल्कुल भाई, सैविज सैनी को बिल्कुल जानता हूँ मैं, बिल्कुल जानता हूँ मैं सैविज सैनी को।
कह तो रहा हूँ कंट्रोवर्सी से आदमी को क्लाउड मिलता
भाई शब्द कम पड़ गए मेरे लिए उनके लिए यार, क्या बोलूं मैं अब। महान।
भाई जितनी मेहनत कर रहा है ना, तुम में से कोई नहीं कर रहा भाई, मैं भी नहीं करता इतनी मेहनत, बड़ी ने भी नहीं करी यार लिटरली। और मतलब लिटरली बता रहा हूँ मजाक से,
इन
मतलब
केस ऑफ
स्ट्रगल का,
स्ट्रीमिंग ओनली, इन केस ऑफ स्ट्रीमिंग।
इन केस ऑफ स्ट्रीमिंग स्ट्रगल जो करता है वो बंदा।
वरना जितने में वो सपने में सोच नहीं सकता उससे ज्यादा मेहनत करता हूं।
भाई सबसे पहले स्ट्रीमर था वो जिसको मैं देखता था इंडिया का।
अरे पर
हां फोर्टनाइट का सबसे पहला स्ट्रीमर है भाई।
हाँ हाँ वो है, फैक्ट है वो तो।
बट वो पूरे दिन घर पे बैठा रहता है। और बड़ी भैया को
हाँ तो भाई आप बहुत बाहर निकलते हो।
मैं बड़ी भैया के और उसको बोल रहा हूँ।
हाँ जी मम्मा। हाँ आया मम्मा।
देखनी पड़ेगी ना, उसने वो चीज छोड़ी है, क्या नाम है तेरा,
क्या क्या
त्याग है वो, तेरे बस क्यों करके देख ले, घर वालों को बोल के देख ले तो तेरा
क्या
स्टार चेंज कर दूंगा भाई मैं अपना, लिटरली नाम चेंज कर
क्या
अरे कुछ नहीं पता वैसे। अरे मुझे पता, सब मुझे सब पता है पागल।
स्ट्रीमिंग कर रही है अंकल उठा रहा चप्पल।
So you might not chill, I don't know, I am gay.
ये भाई तुम्हें पता नहीं यूट्यूबिंग में कितना त्याग देना पड़ता है।
वही तो भाई,
जाके भैया ने दिया है।
मैंने तो भाई बहुत कुछ दिया है।
मैंने भी दिया भाई, बहुत कुछ दिया मैंने।
यार मेरी बात तो सुन, यूज कर रहा हूं
हेलो स्नेहा चौधरी,
फुल टाइम रहूंगा।
आई एम वेरी फेमस।
अंकल उठा रहे चप्पल। अच्छा ठीक है, जा रहा हूं, बैग लगा रहा हूं।
भाई हेडी बहुत फेमस है ना, हेडी बहुत फेमस है ना।
ये कौन है?
ये कौन है भाई, खुद ही लिख रहा है वेरी फेमस। हम तो किसी हड्डी को जानते भाई।
हड्डी को जानता है, मेरा एक दोस्त है हड्डी, हड्डी बुलाता हूं, हड्डी हड्डी कबड्डी।
हड्डी को नहीं भाई, मुझे खेलना है पर मेरा आईपैड मेरे स्कूल में रहेगा। भाई कौन सा स्कूल है भाई, आईपैड स्कूल में ले जाने देते तेरे को? हमें बताओ भाई, हम भी ज्वाइन करेंगे।
हम यहाँ पे घड़ी ले जाए उसी में
वही तो घड़ी में, घड़ी में फोन से
भाई भाई हमें भी आना आपके स्कूल में, प्लीज बताइए।
क्या आप अपने स्कूल का एड्रेस?
अच्छा नहीं शायद,
नहीं सुनो अरे सुनो, क्या आपके स्कूल में जगह है?
क्या आपके स्कूल में जगह है? मैं यूएई में रहता हूँ। अच्छा अच्छा यार,
ओ बाप रे,
भाई यूएई में एग्जाम्स बैन हो गए ना, ऐसा कुछ मेरे सुनने में आया था।
फिर नहीं आ सकते, सॉरी यार।
अरबी अरबी अरबी।
वाओ,
या बराबर ना
वाला वाला कमीज का बच्चा।
कूदी गिलिंदी,
कौन है वो?
कूदी गिलिंदी। तुम क्या बोलती, कूदी गिलिंदी। नहीं होता तो कितना मजा आता।
इससे पूछो कि तेरे तेल वेल के कुएं हैं क्या?
तेल को है भाई तेरे। भाई मैं एक अरबिक इंसान क्या कहता, बोलता है आई एम हैविंग 3 ऑयल वेल्स इन माय बैकयार्ड। मैं बोला भाई थोड़ा इधर भी दे दो। वेल माय डीपीएस डज। भाई तूने डीपीएस छोड़ दिया है क्या? तो डॉक्टर बनने वाली है। डीपीएस इतना शिट स्कूल कभी नहीं देखा भाई मैंने। छी यार मेरे को तो बुरा लगता है। हाँ
दिल्ली पब्लिक स्कूल।
हाँ भाई,
तू गया था?
मैं हूँ ना डीपीएस में।
नीचे ड्रैग कर।
लो मैं कर रहा हूँ। एक मिनट आप करो।
हाँ क्या गन मिली है भाई मेरे को। Everyone hates the school. Don't worry.
भाई हमें तुम्हारा स्कूल मिल जाए वही मिल जाए।
मैं तुम्हें खून दो, तुम मुझे अपना स्कूल दो। ये क्या लिख रहा है भाई, इसका मीनिंग ढूंढ। वल्ला हबीबी शारमुता। शारमुता means bitch. My Arabic friend told me. ज्वाइन कर, मेरी पार्टी करता हूँ भैया जी। गेम खत्म हो जाने दो। इट मीन्स बजरंग बली की जय, जो ना बोले उसी को दे। और जय श्री राम फॉर श्योर। यस, रोटी नहीं खाएंगे मंदिर नहीं बनाएंगे। जस्ट किडिंग। हम धोखा नहीं खाएंगे, कांग्रेस सरकार लाएंगे, न्याय है उपति। कांग्रेस जैसी शिट पार्टी में जिंदगी में देखी नहीं भाई। चलो अलविदा। कभी अलविदा ना कहना, कभी अलविदा ना कहना, चलते चलते मेरे ये गीत याद रखना। कभी अलविदा ना कहना, कभी अलविदा ना कहना। चल भी निकल। भाई हिंदी में बोट को क्या बोलते हैं?
किसको?
बोट को
नाव।
नहीं, कश्ती।
दोनों।
जहाज। मैं अपने जहाज में जा रहा हूं, कोहरा ही कोहरा, छीटा ही छीटा। आई मीन ओ माय फ्रेंड गणेशा, तू रहना साथ हमेशा। टिक टिकटा टिक टिक टिकटा टिक टिकटा टिक टिकटा। भाई राघव का यार। अंधा के ऊपर अंबर, अंबर के ऊपर तारे। भाई ग्रेनेड्स रख लो यार, ग्रेनेड्स ओपी। किसकी मृत्यु हुई वैसे? रेड स्टील ब्रिज। मर गया भाई मैं तो। अरे यार भाई ये कैसे मरा मैं यार। मैंने मार देना यार इसे। यार ये गेम गंदी सी। हेलो
मैं खुद मेरे स्क्वाड का कोई श्योर नहीं, मैं तो आज छोड़ रहा हूँ। लाइक अगर आज नहीं, अगर मेरे को स्क्वाड नहीं मिला ना तो
हाँ
नहीं छोड़ूंगा, बट एक्चुअली मिला तो छोड़ने वाला हूँ। मैं एक अच्छे मैं और अच्छे 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 स्क्वाड के लिए ट्राई आउट दे रहा हूँ उनके।
किसका?
देख ऐसा बोल रहा हूँ तुझे कि एरो में कोई है क्या जिसका वो है लुकिंग फॉर स्क्वाड है, जो एरो में से नहीं मिल रहा है, ऐसा कुछ एक बंदा चाहिए, ऐसा ऐसा देखना, पूछना यार, तू उनको जानता है ना प्लीज।
वही करता हूँ भाई मैं। अगर आर्क वाला हुआ तो मेरे को बात करना भाई, क्योंकि फिर मैं आगे देखता हूँ ना, अगर उसका पक्का हो तो ठीक है, नहीं तो फिर दूसरे को देखता हूँ मैं। वो बात है ना।
अरे हाँ उसमें तो तेरे को ले लेंगे अगर कोई मिला नहीं तो।
हाँ
पर
ठीक।
तू पहले ना
मैं
चैंपियन
और भी
पहुंच,
देख लेता
क्योंकि
हूँ है ना, इसलिए ऐसा ऐसा आप बोलोगे तो मैं दूसरों को भी देख लेता हूँ, नहीं तो वो बैकअप रखता हूँ, ठीक है।
पर तू पहले चैंपियन पहुंच, क्योंकि तू फिर बाद
हाँ
में तेरे स्क्वाड को डिच किया होगा
हाँ
ना
हाँ
कि
ठीक है
चैंपियन ही
वही।
नहीं हूँ।
हाँ तो भाई नाम खराब हो जाएगा मेरा। कितने पॉइंट्स है? हैं?
हाँ,
क्या?
हुआ
क्या?
पॉइंट्स तो
हाँ
मैंने सुना पर मैं समझा नहीं भाई। लाइक समझा पर तू नहीं समझेगा मैं क्या समझा।
कितने वर्ड्स है?
बहुत बहुत अलग है, एक सेकंड अटक रहा है एक ले। सुन तो
हाँ
एरो में से कोई है क्या अच्छे वो प्लेयर्स?
बात करनी पड़ेगी मेरे को।
ज्यादा
राघव से बात करता हूँ यार मैं, क्योंकि अभी फर्स्ट वीक दिनेश तो है नहीं। तो भी
वीक तक नहीं है, एक महीने तक नहीं होगा, मुझे एक महीने तक लग रहा है।
हाँ तो मतलब पहले वीक, जब तक पहला वीक उसका है तब तक एक महीने ऐसा हो जाएगा ना।
हाँ नहीं ब्रो, पहली तारीख को है।
हाँ तो देखते हैं, एक दो हफ्ते तो नहीं रहेगा। उसने मेरे को तो बोला था 10-15 दिन के लिए रहेगा ऑफ। तो बैड लक नहीं है ना बेचारे का, वही जॉन्डिस हुआ था बेचारे को।
हाँ
भाई क्या है भाई ड्रम गन और पर्पल वाली ड्रम गन जैसी?
हर की लोग के पास है क्या स्टार्ट की यूजर?
क्या?
आज एरो के पब्लिक लॉन्च में चल ना, वो लोग शायद ड्रैग करेंगे, इनको पूछ लेता हूँ।
चल।
आजा। हाँ उनको किसी को बोल सकते हैं क्या ड्रैग
मैं
करने?
गेम में रुक जाओ ना, आप पूछ लो ना, तो कर लेंगे ड्रैगन। चंदा के ऊपर तारे तारे
सिर्फ पूछ, ठीक है? मैं अभी देख, मैंने ना अभी एक दो लोगों को किया डीएम, और एक तीसरे को कर रहा हूँ, और एक चौथा जो ये तुम लोग है ना एयर वाले, मेरे को एक परफेक्ट स्क्वाड में ढूंढने का मांगता। एक सेकंड।
मेरे को समझ आ रहा है मैं किससे पूछूं भाई, रैंडम इंसान से पूछने नहीं वाला मैं कोई, मतलब कैसे कोई जो लिखता रहता है लुकिंग फॉर अ
एरो,
स्क्वाड।
अच्छा नहीं नहीं नहीं, ऐसे ही पूछने का, ऐसे मिल जाएगा। जानता हो थोड़ा, आधा जानता हो ऐसा।
हाँ वही मतलब, ऐसे कोई भी रैंडम इंसान, अरबी इंसान मिल जाए वो।
हाँ ऐसा नहीं,
हाँ वही तो,
इंडियन इंडियन
हाँ
को,
हाँ
इंडियन
हाँ।
को। कल चैंपियन फर्स्ट यहाँ लो।
कितने पॉइंट्स हुए?
कल 3200 है
स्कूल भी नहीं जा रहा अभी इसलिए।
चैंपियन के लिए।
थोड़ा, क्योंकि कल एनुअल फंक्शन चालू हो रहा है ना वो सब, उसका थोड़ा सा टाइम पास है।
शायद रिस्क्यू इसको भी को भी पूछूंगा।
भाई मैं अब मैं
जा रहा
सिर्फ,
हूँ अभी।
हाँ ठीक है,
कल मैं पूरे दिन खेलूंगा और मैं पहुंचूंगा।
ठीक है भाई।
हाँ बंद था, चले मैं जाता हूँ यार।
हाँ ठीक है। एक्सक्लेमेशन स्पेक्स वेनम। अरे ये क्या हुआ? Shit. अरे यार, हाँ अरे यार, फक यू। दिमाग खराब है भाई बंदे का। Get silly, silly. अरे भाई क्यों लेनी है इसको फाइट? अब तू जा भाई, अब तू कहाँ जाएगा देख। तू जा भाई, मर साले मर। अब करना पुश यार, डरता क्या है? लेजर कर दिया बेचारे को मैंने, लॉल। Get fucked on, dog. Get fucked on. अरे यार मैं मिस डाली और शिट शिट शिट। बैंडेज बैंडेज बैंडेज। तीन बैंडेज है भाई, मैं कैसे सरवाइव करूंगा यार? शिट इंसान था यार, क्या चूह मची थी उसके यार। इजी रोटेट करना यार, क्यों उंगली कर रहा है? दोनों के लिए मैंने मस्त करा यार, सब रेप कर सारे का। Don't tell me to shut up. Can't get you out of my bed. Can't get you out of my head. कुछ मैं तो मैंने उठा लिया भाई अभी टैक के साथ ही। Get silly, 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 silly. अरे भैया जी, भाई क्यों भाग गई भाई? क्यों डर गई तू? क्यों डर गई इतनी? क्यों री छोरी, ए री छोरी, क्यों डर गई? क्यों डर गई? माँ खराब है यार, मर गया ना अभी मैं जोन में, ये बता रहा हूँ मैं। नहीं स्टॉर्म में तो मैंने लेनी है फाइट। नहीं ओ नहीं यार, ऐसे नहीं चलेगा मेरा, ऐसा थोड़ा चलता है यार मेरा कभी। बिना स्टॉर्म में फाइट लेकर ना मैं कभी जी सकता हूँ, है ना? कोई चांस ही नहीं है भाई बचने का विदाउट स्टॉर्म में फाइट लेते भाई। स्टॉर्म में मरा होगा वो कुत्ता, और क्या भाई। ये मारेगा भाई, यही तो है भाई इनका। मामा मिल जा भाई। silly. बजरंग बली की। तो इस तो जॉब हो गया भाई मेरा। कहाँ है भाई सब? तो लग रहा था अंदर कोई कैंप कर रहा होगा भाई, लेजी लेक आइलैंड में। पता था, मेरे को पता था। बहुत सारा दिमाग खराब काम कर रहा है। तो पता था कोई ना छुप के बैठा ही होगा उस। क्या प्रेडिक्टेबल है। वहाँ पर बंदा फाइट कर रहा है। 3 बंदे ये हो गए, एक और बंदा वहीं कहीं होगा भाई। वो बंदा भी ऐसा, मुझे अभी कोई नहीं मारने वाला जहाँ तक मेरे को लगता है। आई एम इन अ गुड स्पॉट राइट नाउ। आई मीन मेरे को पता सारे बंदे किधर हैं। आई गेस, आई होप। उधर फाइट चल रही है ना एक, ठीक है। क्या बिल्ड करता हूँ भाई मैं। आराम से बैठ के इधर थोड़ा नाच लेते हैं। लग रहा है जोन इधर कहीं आएगा। मेरे भी आ सकता है, पता नहीं। Let's see, let's have a look. पता था मेरे को उधर आएगा जोन। I can even win this game, I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe not. I'll try my best. Get silly. hope I had RPG, man. Let this go, heal me. भाई 3 बंदे कहाँ मरे हुए हैं भाई? भाई भाई वाइट है भाई वो बंदा। भाई क्यों इतना बेड भाई क्यों? अरे यार शिट कर दिया भाई मैंने, लेजिट शिट कर दिया। भाई उसने सही दिमाग लगा यार। आई फक्ड, हक दिया भाई, मैं गंदे वाला हक दिया। रहना बड़े पास गिरी कलम भूल गए आज रे। मजा आया भाई, अच्छा गेम था। इट वाज अ जीजी's। क्या है चल बे हट, मैं 2 मिनट आया। राम राम राम। I cannot risk. I cannot risk. I cannot just risk it. I mean, I can third party. अरे यार स्पेक्टेड कितनी हेल्पफुल हेल्थ थी भाई के कुछ कर नहीं सकता था मैं तो अरे यार राघव भी नहीं आया यार राघव गूगली गूगली गू गूगली गूगली गू गूगली गूगली गू गूगली गूगली गू yo you just fuck off you get silly universe
FPS boost.
अबे मत कर फेसबुक स्टार्ट में खेल सकता
do you have a squad
अरे यार मेरा हार्ट भी जाता वही तो मतलब 40 पर ड्रॉप होता है ना।
तुझे फुल मैक्स
सेटिंग्स पे खेलना रहता है ना।
अरे यार लोग पे ये सब नॉर्मल ये
कितना टाइम
लोग
लगेगा बूस्ट करने
पता नहीं 2 मिनट विंडोज की प्लस आर राइट क्लिक ऑन द सेटिंग्स गो प्रॉपर्टीज ऑन टिक रेडी ओनली एंड क्लिक अप्लाई
अबे तेरे को पता है कि ऑरेंज
Open
गाय के
file.
साथ क्या कंट्रोवर्सी
These settings must be
और
show
orange
grass
guy ना
faults,
जो
display camera 1000 HD texture quality.
वो क्लैश रॉयल वीडियो वाला
पता नहीं है कॉपी वेलकम टू स्ट्रीम कॉपी डू यू हैव स्क्वाड जीजी सेक्रेटरी 2 नियर है उसके लिए एफएनसीएस के लिए नहीं है
Foon CS.
अरे है एफएनसीएस के लिए भी
नहीं है
नहीं है।
कौन है बोल
मैं और फ्लेम
रहने दे
तो best-
फ्लेम की 10
best-
चल रही है तेरी 12 चल रही है और अभिजीत वेल है छोड़ उसको गिनते नहीं तो तुम दोनों के ये मेरे को पता है तुम लोग नहीं आओगे टाइम
अबे मैंने चाहे 6500 कर लो।
अबे नहीं फ्लेम तो इसके बाद सीएस खेलना लो उसके ईएसएल
nice
इंडिया आ रहे हैं
हाँ।
तो फेस स्वे ही है इसीलिए स्वे को ना 60 हजार मिला
get silly क्या शिट हो भाई मैं हम्म यार अबे यार भाई तूफान सिंह भाई 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 क्यों मेरी जगह है वो मेरी जगह वही सेम बंदे ने वो सेम यार भाई यार मस्त लग रही है यार ये तो मस्त नए नए कलर आए भाई भाई मस्त है यार ये तो I like the new colors man भाई तूफान सिंह ने भाई
चलो थोड़ा खाना पानी लेके आया जाए किधर चला रहा है रुको 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 हम तो जेल काफी दिन हो आए हैं ओ एयरलाइंस भी यहाँ पे तो वाह
Hey, the guys you see behind me have built the most incredible house.
Hi!
Let me show you. They built a house that is beautiful, large, with a swimming pool, a car, kitchen, and lounge. And they gave it all away
for free!
Yes, for free.
भाई बहुत गंदी क्वालिटी है इसकी
This is a rock and this is water. If you pour water on a rock, nothing happens. But if you pour water on a rock, time after time after time, the rock eventually changes. I can't believe I'm making this video, but here is a confession. When I was a kid, I loved eating meat, and all my friends did too, because meat was our favorite dish. And vegetarians, I hated. Because life is too short not to enjoy meat. Until one day, something crazy happened. I found a girl online and I liked her. I took her on a date and all of a sudden she says, I'm vegetarian. I thought to myself, crap. I like this girl, but eating out with her is going to be difficult. Day after day after day, we would go on dates and she would order avocado and I would order steak. And she would whisper,
It's better to be vegetarian.
I disagreed. She ate her own and I ate mine. But her small influence on my food was like water hitting my rock. And after hundreds of meals and hundreds of waves, my rock started changing. And one day, I woke up and realized that I no longer eat meat. I was shocked. I don't know why I stopped, because I love steak. But when all my friends, Aline and my best friend Aegon, ordered vegetables day after day after day, I gave in and changed my diet. You might think this video is about food, but it's really not. It's bigger than that. This video is about the people around you, because they change and shape you in ways that you cannot control. If your group of friends drink alcohol, you will eventually drink alcohol. If your closest friends are athletic, you will become athletic. If your closest friends want to succeed in life, you will succeed in life. Even if you're a rock and your friends are water, sooner or later, they will change you, for better or for worse.
It actually goes both ways. I learned a lot from spending time with nuts. I'm a lot more ambitious now, and I use my time much more efficiently. I use every day to do something to work towards my goals.
I stopped eating meat because of my friends, but the bigger picture here is that you should be careful who your closest friends are, because sooner or later, you will become them. See you next
Like I like it. Oh, ओए क्या हुआ मुझे? 2-3 आवाजें क्यों आ रही हैं?
No one can live forever, but I have just arrived to a place where it's most likely to happen. Where people live the longest out of any major country. 84 years on average.
Welcome to Japan.
No one knows exactly why people live so long in Japan. But if I were to guess, this is probably why. In Japan, healthcare is so advanced it will save your life. Food is so healthy it won't clog your arteries. Roads are so organized you won't get hit by a car. People are so polite you won't get in a fight. Nature is so beautiful you won't stay indoors. Society is so organized you won't get stressed. And even toilet seats are heated so you can in peace. All of this means that when you're 80, you can be just like this lady. 1, 2, 3. That's 1 minute.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Konnichiwa. What I'm about to eat is arguably the best sushi in the world, because this piece of sushi came from this place. The world's largest fish market, Tsukiji Market in Japan. And inside of it, you'll find hundreds of fishermen coming together every sunrise to sell fish. These people have dedicated their lives to finding the best fish in the world, the perfect color, fattiness, and freshness. And when they find that perfect catch, they buy it for tens of thousands of dollars. That's like how much a car is worth. All of this takes decades of experience, hundreds of people, and tons of work every day just so you can enjoy that piece of sushi.
That's what we need. See you tomorrow.
Yes! 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 Japan is a near-perfect country. It has beautiful nature, order, wealth, and culture. It is the perfect place to live. Hello from Japan! But for many here, it's also the perfect place to die. Because in Japan, the suicide rate is one of the highest in the developed world, double that of Germany. It's so high that there's a forest called the Suicide Forest, where many Japanese people come to end their lives. They walk into a dense forest, leaving only a string in case they change their mind. Oftentimes, they don't. In a society where the focus is on your job, wealth, and school, suicide ends up becoming the ultimate escape. Suicide exists all over the world, but to see it so prevalent in a near-perfect country like Japan makes one wonder, in pursuit of a perfect society, what is being lost on the way? That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow. Meet Takoro.
Hi, I'm Takuro. I'm Japanese crazy boy.
This is why Takoro says he is crazy. Takoro took dried roses, dipped them in gold, and sold them to boyfriends Googling for
Girlfriend? Present? Expensive.
That's how he made $200,000. Then he wanted to talk to machines. So he built a ring. With a swipe, the ring controls your abs just like that.
It works.
But Takoro couldn't talk to people because he couldn't speak English.
In Taco Bell, it took me 5 minutes to...
What do you mean I even see that? I even see that guy मतलब? हैं? टाइम क्या 11 बज गए क्या?
हाँ 4 बज गए.
Get silly. हट दिमाग खराब कर दे पागल लोग पुसी पुसी खेलते हैं मतलब पुश पुश करके बहुत ज्यादा
मेरे को पुसी वाला पुसी सुनाई दिया
मैंने पुसी वाला पुसी बोला मेरी टैग क्या मजेदार है यार अरे यार कौन है यार मैं भाई क्यों क्यों अरे पुश कर रहा है यार ये क्यों अरे यार क्या मस्त बंदा था ये जीजीज ओनली अच्छा स्नाइपर था बात है अच्छा प्लेयर से मरा मैं चलो
दिल को सुकून मिला
हाँ कम से कम पुसी से तो नहीं मरा यार
To order a water.
So he built a device to allow people like him to talk to people.
お水が欲しいです。
I'd like a glass of water.
It's a device that translates on the spot. No internet, no app, just click.
Takuro grew up knowing only Japanese. But instead of learning another language, he found a way to learn every language. That's crazy.
That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
Es una minutos, nos vemos mañana. I'm Kento Bento.
This video is made possible by CuriosityStream. By signing up at the link in the description, you'll also get Nebula for free, a second video streaming platform that I just so happen to be a part of. Before we start, I just want to apologize if my voice sounds a little rough. I'm actually quite sick, but I really wanted to make this video. So anyway, if you clicked on this, I assume you've already watched the incredible Japanese Prison Break. And as it turns out, many of you had some lingering questions that needed answering. Like,
I'm Kento Bento.
this video is made possible by Dashlane. Download Dashlane for free if you never want to forget another password again at the link in the description. Aomori, Japan, 1936. Prisoner Yoshie Shiratori had had enough. He was forced to confess to a murder he did not commit. Falsely imprisoned, in Aomori prison, beaten and tortured every night by prison guards, and now worse, prosecutors were seeking the death penalty. In his mind, it was time to go, but Aomori prison wasn't the easiest to escape. Regardless, Yoshie Shiratori had nothing to lose, and so at 5:30 a.m. he made his move. He knew there would be a 15-minute gap in the patrol time, as he had studied the guard's routine for months. And when the coast was clear, he pulled out a metal wire which he had smuggled in from the bathhouse and started to pick the lock. This was originally the metal support ring that was wrapped around the bathing buckets inmates used to wash themselves. His hands were stiff from the wintry cold, but after a few minutes of picking, he had success, and his cell door swung open. But he wasn't out of the woods yet, because there were more locked doors ahead. He knew he only had a few minutes left before the guards would return, and so he wasted no time attempting to pick his way through the remaining security doors. Now, fortunately for him, he was able to make it out of the facility, but the bad news was that he was only halfway to freedom. You see, he was still well within the search perimeter, which meant at any moment the alarm could go off and he'd still be caught. At 5:45 a.m., the guards returned, peering into his cell, and this is what they saw. Shiratori sound asleep in his futon bed. But of course, what they didn't realize was that they were looking at something else, a pile of loose floorboards underneath his duvet designed to trick them. It wasn't until the next morning that they finally discovered the truth and the alarm was sounded. But by then, Shiratori was long gone. Now, he had escaped, but if you've watched any of our previous videos, you'll know that things aren't always as they seem. In fact, for Yoshie Shiratori, aka the prison break magician, this was only the beginning. 3 days later, he was caught trying to steal supplies from a hospital, and just like that, he was back in the slammer. But this time, for his escape attempt, he was sentenced to life in prison. He would never be with his family again, his wife and his daughter, and all the months of planning had led to just 3 days of freedom. It now seemed he'd be locked up for a very long time. 6 years later, in 1942, in the midst of the Second World War, Shiratori found himself transferred to Akita prison in Akita City. There, the guards treated him even worse than in Aomori. They had heard about Shiratori's previous escape and were determined to make an example out of him. They wanted to make sure he would never escape again. Along with the usual beatings, he was forced to partake in extreme manual labor, made to sleep on the hard concrete floor in the severe winter cold, and placed into solitary confinement for extended periods of time. Now, this was a specially made solitary confinement cell, which was very small and had a very high ceiling, with the walls covered with copper sheets so smooth that it was impossible to grip. In addition, there was almost no sunlight even in the daytime, with the only window light coming from a small sealed skylight high above. This was a room designed to keep escape artists from escaping, and if that wasn't enough, the guards also made sure that Shiratori was handcuffed at all times. Now, despite the constant abuse, one of the guards, Kobayashi, in fact the head guard, took pity on him. Kobayashi never laid a finger, and even seemed to check up on him from time to time, concerned for his well-being. Perhaps this made life a little more bearable for Shiratori, and it might have even been what kept his will alive all the way to the night of June 15th. It was a stormy night, and Shiratori was in the middle of one of his extended stays in solitary confinement. At around midnight, one of the guards peered into his cell and couldn't believe his eyes. He opened the cell door and looked around in astonishment, as Yoshie Shiratori had vanished into thin air. All that was left was his handcuffs. So how did he do it? Well, there were a few assumptions the guards made that did not apply to Shiratori. For one, handcuffs simply didn't work on him. Shiratori was actually a master of getting out of handcuffs, and in fact had several methods to choose from. Here, he decided to go with the familiar lock-picking method, but he really could have gone with any of them. He had thoroughly scoured his surroundings to find anything that could be of use in an escape, and just like in Aomori prison, he was able to uncover a loose bit of wire. Perhaps it was from one of the items Kobayashi brought him, but this wasn't clear. After freeing himself from the cuffs, he placed his palms and soles of his feet on the smooth copper sheets and started climbing the unclimbable wall. It turned out Shiratori was also an expert climber, with an uncanny ability to scale like a lizard. Once he reached the skylight above, he noticed that, yes, the window was sealed, but the wooden framing around it was starting to rot. And so thereafter, night after night, when the guards weren't looking, he'd climb the copper walls and loosen the framing, bit by bit. Afterwards, he'd climb back down and place the handcuffs back on, as to not rouse suspicion. After a couple months, the window finally came loose, and from there, it was just about choosing the right day. He waited until a particular stormy night, so the guards wouldn't hear the footsteps on the roof. And that was it. He had escaped from prison again. Now this time, he wouldn't be caught. Or, at least, not in the way you'd expect. 3 months later, on September 18th, the head guard, Kobayashi, was at home when he heard a knock on the door. To his surprise, it was the fugitive Yoshie Shiratori, unkempt and disheveled, and he needed a favor. A stunned Kobayashi took him in and fed him, all the while listening to what he had to say. Shiratori explained that he didn't actually mind being in prison, and that the only reason he escaped twice now was due to the tremendous abuse he suffered at the hands of the sadistic guards. Kobayashi, however, was the only one who treated him with any amount of respect, and so he felt he owed it to him to let him in on his grand plan. Now, this plan involved Shiratori willingly, yes, handing himself over to the Justice Department, where he could then personally make a case for how corrupt and barbaric the Japanese prison system was, and there needed to be reform. He wanted to campaign for change, and in the process, gain his legal freedom through a civil lawsuit. He felt this was the only way he could realistically end up with his family. This, of course, was a super ambitious plan, and as a fugitive on the run, he was well aware of that, which is why he needed Kobayashi, the well-respected head guard of Akita prison, to vouch for him, to strengthen his credibility. As the only guard who ever treated him right, he had a feeling Kobayashi would do the right thing. Minutes later, while Shiratori was in the toilet, Kobayashi called the police. Maybe not a great plan. Just like that, Shiratori was back in prison, and this time, he vowed never to trust an officer of the law again. For the second escape, the courthouse added 3 more years to his life sentence. Now, Shiratori requested to be sent to a Tokyo prison, where the weather was warmer, as he couldn't stand the cold in the northern prisons. His previous stints had weakened him severely, but he was denied his request. Instead, the judge sentenced him to the infamous Abashiri prison in Hokkaido, the northernmost prison in Japan. No man had ever escaped from this wintry hellhole of a prison. It was now 1943, and the cold was unbearable in Abashiri, as the temperature in the cells was below freezing point. Whenever inmates received their prison food, the miso soup and soy sauce would often freeze up. In this temperature, a handcuffed Shiratori was thrown into an open cell in summer clothing, and he immediately felt the paralyzing sting of cold air. Perhaps in a fit of desperation, he tried to force himself past the guards, but they were able to push him back and get him down. An enraged and defiant Shiratori stood back up and vowed that he would escape from Abashiri prison like he's always, and that there was nothing he could do about it. In fact, he claimed there was little point even putting handcuffs on him, as he'd always find a way to break free. If not by lockpicking, then, well, this. He then proceeded to rip apart the chain of his handcuffs. It turned out Shiratori had another special ability. Aside from his outstanding climbing abilities, he also possessed incredible strength, almost superhuman strength. Back in Akita prison, he could have broken free of the cuffs in a physical way if he didn't have to put them back on. Now, this was impressive, but it wasn't so smart to lay his cards on the table like that, as the guards were starting to build an escape profile on him. They knew he had lockpicking abilities, lizard-like climbing abilities, and now almost superhuman strength. And so they set out to devise the ultimate escape-proof cell, one that was sure to be Shiratori-proof. And they came up with this. The new cell had steel fixtures with a low chance of rot. Any openings, even the bars removed, were made smaller than his body, meaning there was no way he could physically fit through. He had specially made solid iron handcuffs that tied his hands behind his back, and leg cuffs that made him barely able to stand. These cuffs weighed 20 kgs each and had no keyhole, which meant they could not be lockpicked. And the only way they could be removed was by 2 metalwork specialists who would come once every few weeks to remove them in an arduous 2-hour process. It was at this point, and only this point, that he could even take a bath. And he certainly needed one, as weeks of being shackled up with no movement meant his cuff wounds were infested with maggots. On top of that, and as cold as it had already been, it wasn't even peak winter yet. Any strength he would have left would surely be nullified by the upcoming freeze. Though just in case, they still made sure to cut his already meager food portions in half. And so that was it. Even for Shiratori, this was too much. As winter came, he succumbed to his fate. Every day, the guards would slide his meal through the opening, and he'd be forced to grovel like a dog. His hand and leg cuffs made every action awkward and uncomfortable, with even sleeping being a pain. There was no doubt life in Abashiri prison was absolute torture. Now, fast forward. Shiratori was somehow able to survive through the winter, and spring was coming. This meant he was starting to get his strength back. But still, what could he really do? He was literally in a bind. Months passed and, well, nothing seemed to happen. Then one night, in August, a guard in his office was doing some paperwork when he heard some shuffling on the roof. He wasn't sure what it was, but he decided to check on the prisoners. As he looked inside Shiratori's inescapable cell, he was stunned. The futon bed and prison garments were neatly folded up. The specially made 20 kg handcuffs and leg cuffs that would have required two specialists 2 hours to remove was placed on the side, and Shiratori was nowhere to be seen. He had finally fulfilled his promise to the guards. The alarm immediately sounded, but despite the work of the search party, it seemed he had truly disappeared. But how on earth did this happen? How did he escape from the fortress that was Abashiri prison? Well, preparation had started 6 months earlier. At the time, he didn't have the strength or stamina to mount any sort of escape, not to mention the—
Yeah, I'm watching Kento Bento video.
But one thing he did have was
yes,
time and
sir.
patience. Every day, the guards would slide his meal through.
Wait, I want to see if there is ceremonies there down below.
Off the floor, he always made sure to save a little bit of the miso soup in the corner. You see, every night, he would hobble awkwardly to the inspection window and splash a little of it on the steel frame. He would also dab some on his handcuffs and leg cuffs.
हाँ हिंदी बोलता हूँ भाई हाँ मैं वही देख रहा हूँ.
For the salt content of the miso soup to oxidize the screws and bolts, eventually corroding. And
Welcome to the stream, by the way,
Gimzy. Through the iron actually worked, and the first screw came out. The next few months saw screws and bolts coming loose, assisted by the use of the first screw as a sort of screwdriver. By the end of spring, he was able to fully remove his handcuffs and leg cuffs, as well as the steel frame of the inspection window. But there was a problem. The size of the opening was smaller than his body, which meant he couldn't fit through, a contingency thought out by the guards. What they didn't account for, though, was Shiratori's fourth ability, which involved being able to dislocate his joints.
अरे यार!
With this, he was now able to slide through the opening like a caterpillar. This repertoire of skills, thus surely making him an honorary member.
भाई कोई नहीं यार.
With that, he climbed through a broken window.
हाँ रैक हो गया भाई मैं गंदे वाला रैक हो गया.
Impressively, Shiratori had now escaped from 3 prisons, as well as being the only man to ever escape Abashiri prison. Now, good on him.
अरे यार क्या मजाक है यार, shit कर दिया भाई मैं.
And the only direction he could have gone to was the cold, snowy mountains. Actually, the prison guards felt that they had the last laugh, because if the cold didn't get him, the mountain bears certainly would. Despite this likelihood, there was one person.
Make sure to subscribe friend by the way GMZ. हाँ भाई हिंदी में बोलता subscribe कर दे नहीं होता.
Because even if he was alive, she knew he wouldn't be able to make it back to his family, as the authorities would be constantly on his tail. Which is why she was desperately and secretly hoping that Japan would lose the war, as that would enable the US to
Play try hard all will improve. Yeah, अब try hard कर रहा हूँ भाई मैं थोड़ा वीडियो देख लूँ. जब तक मैं थोड़ा कोने में लैंड कर रहा हूँ उसके बाद try hard करूँगा.
A year later, in August 1945, she got her wish.
ओ भाई क्या coincidence है.
The Americans had now taken over the country's penitentiary system, and sweeping changes were being made. And it did seem, perhaps, that the manhunt for Yoshie Shiratori had now taken a back seat. Yet the question remained, where was he? And was he even alive? The answer was yes, he was alive, and living a solitary life, this time self-imposed. It turned out he had discovered an abandoned mine on a mountainside in the Hokkaido wilderness, and was able to make a home for himself. For food,
play background music. Not today, I'm watching this video. It's very good. I'm like listening to this video.
The habits of bears. Life was steady and safe, but after a while, curiosity got the better of him. And so after 2 years of isolation, he made his way down the mountain to a nearby village. What he saw astounded him. The streets were filled with signs written in English. The posters and flags emblematic of the war effort had vanished. And even more strange, young Japanese girls were holding hands with American soldiers. What on earth was going on. He grabbed a newspaper that had been set aside, flipped through the pages, and it was only then that he found out about the atomic bombs, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Japan had surrendered the previous year, and he couldn't believe it. As with his wife, he felt it was now pointless to hide, and so bid farewell to his old hunter-gatherer lifestyle. He headed south of Abashiri for the next 50 days until he reached the city of Sapporo. At this point, he was starving, so he found himself a nice ripe tomato from a nearby field, which was a huge mistake. A farmer had spotted him and mistook him for a well-known local thief, which led to a scuffle, resulting in the farmer's abdomen being pierced by a blade. Sadly, he bled out and died, but not before Shiratori was arrested for the crime. It wasn't long until police found out that they in fact had the infamous Yoshie Shiratori in their custody. For his multiple escapes and having now murdered the farmer, despite his claims of self-defense, he was sentenced to death by the district court of Sapporo. And in 1947, he was sent to Sapporo prison to await execution. Now, to ensure he wouldn't escape this time, on death row, he was placed under 24-hour surveillance with 6 armed guards personally assigned to his watch. As for the cell itself, it was upgraded further from the one in Abashiri prison, with reinforced doors, ceilings, bars, windows. In fact, any openings were made smaller than the size of his head, not just his body, learning from the Abashiri escape. As while he may be able to dislocate his joints,
भाई मैं फिर से हक दिया यार गंदा.
As long as his head can't fail, they were good. The 6 guards were so confident, in fact, that they didn't even bother cuffing him. Now Shiratori was getting old, and the odds of escaping by this point were looking slim. As his execution loomed near, there was little he could really do, and the guards knew that. They could see the desperation on his face, looking up, searching for an escape plan that they knew would never come. Though still, just in case, they made sure to search his room every night while he was taking a bath in the bathhouse, inspecting the ceiling, skylight, and any other openings. A month passed, and winter was now coming, weakening him further, and the realization was starting to dawn on him. He grew increasingly despondent, staying in bed, refusing to wake up, despite the orders of the guards. This went on for a while until one morning, the guards had enough and entered the cell to discipline him. They flipped over the duvet, and he was gone. This was not possible. How did he do it this time? Going back to when he was first placed under 24-hour surveillance with the 6 armed guards personally assigned to his watch, he had in fact conditioned them to look up and keep up from the very start. Not just because his previous escape attempts involved climbing through skylight windows on ceilings, but also his suspicious yet, as it turned out, very intentional behavior of constantly looking up to figure out
But he went down.
Little did they know, it was all an act, and that he already had one, but it would be taking place precisely where they weren't looking. You see, it turned out the authorities were so concerned with him escaping through a window or skylight that they neglected to reinforce the bottom. This ironically ended up being his easiest and simplest escape, because all he had to do was remove the bolted floorboards, which wasn't easy, but he had experience, and using random cutlery and a miso soup bowl, dig his way to freedom. This took over a month, and he was able to hide his activities due to A, the guards not suspecting this approach, and B, the floorboard panels being put back in place every night after digging. The 6 guards thought they were keeping a good eye on him even at night, but with the hole consistently positioned underneath the futon and duvet, and it increasingly becoming the norm to refuse the orders of the guards to wake up, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Placing a pile of loose floorboards underneath the duvet to trick them was also a callback to his first prison escape in Aomori. So he had now escaped from prison 4 times, and by this point, the story is starting to get ridiculous. But this perpetual cycle of capture and escape was about to end, because a year later, in 1948, Shiratori was exhausted. He was in his 40s now, and this was a young man's game. One day, in the Kotoni neighborhood, still in Sapporo, as he stopped to rest, a policeman just happened to sit by his side for a smoke. He didn't know who Shiratori was, but he struck up a conversation with him. Shiratori, of course, was wary of his presence and tried to play it cool, all the while attempting to figure out a way to remove himself from the situation without being suspicious. Suddenly, the policeman did something unexpected, at least to him. He pulled out another cigarette and offered it to him. Shiratori was stunned. You see, cigarettes were expensive luxury items in Japan at the time, and the fact that someone offered it to him just out of the kindness of his heart brought tears to his eyes. Not to mention, all his life he had been abused and mistreated by officers of the law, with even the head guard Kobayashi turning his back on him. And here was an instance of an officer treating him kindly, with respect, and with no prejudgment. As he smoked the cigarette, Shiratori couldn't help but tell the officer his full name, Yoshie Shiratori, and that he had escaped from Sapporo prison last year. In fact, he had escaped from prison 4 times in his life. It was strangely a relief to get it all off his chest, and he was even ready for the consequences. After the Kobayashi incident, he had vowed never to trust another officer of the law again. But the simple act of receiving a cigarette from a stranger broke him. Of course, he was arrested again, but this time, things were different. Maybe it was the fact that he willingly gave himself up, or that Japan's justice system was going through a change. But the High Court of Sapporo became sympathetic to Shiratori's plight, and some of his past claims were recognized, such as acknowledging the farmer's death as a legitimate case of self-defense. They also made note that throughout all 4 of his prison escapes, he didn't kill or injure a single guard, despite the abuse he may have suffered at their hands. At the end of the deliberation, the High Court dismissed the murder charge, revoking his death sentence, and instead sentenced him to just 20 years in prison. Further, they approved his request to be transferred to a Tokyo prison, where the weather was warmer. He was getting what he wanted. In Tokyo, he was sent to Fuchu prison, where, for the first time, the guards actually treated him well. It was a weird feeling. There were all these precautions and security measures in place to ensure that the infamous prison break magician wouldn't escape. But the truth was, Shiratori didn't really care anymore. Everything he'd been fighting against, the mistreatment from guards, the death penalty, even the northern climate, was no longer of concern. And he was at peace. There was no need to escape anymore. He finally accepted his punishment, and for the remainder of his sentence, acted as a model prisoner. Just 14 years later, in 1961, he was released on parole. And for the first time in a long time, he was truly a free man. He decided to head back to Aomori, where it all began, and meet up with his daughter, who, by this point, unfortunately, was the only family member he had left. For his incredible escapes, Yoshie Shiratori became a legend, an anti-hero in Japan. But it was very much the opposite for the country's penitentiary system, which had somehow allowed him to escape time and time again. This was a national embarrassment for Japan. But just as preventing criminals from breaking out of the system is vital for the safety of society, so is preventing them from breaking into the system. Your system, that is. And for that, I'd personally recommend Dashlane. Because Dashlane makes keeping track of all your passwords super duper easy. It stores all your passwords and personal information.
I'm Kento Bento.
This video is made possible by CuriosityStream. By signing up at the link in the description, you'll also get Nebula for free, a second video streaming platform that I just so happen to be a part of. Before we start, I just want to apologize if my voice sounds a little rough. I'm actually quite sick, but I really wanted to make this video. So anyway, if you clicked on this, I assume you've already watched the incredible Japanese prison break. And as it turns out, many of you had some lingering questions that needed answering. Like, where did all the dirt go? How can anyone break handcuffs with their bare hands? Why didn't anyone see the rust after using the miso soup? How can you add 3 more years to a life sentence? What exactly was Shiratori's initial crime that led to his first arrest? What happened in his life after being released from prison? Was this whole video just an ad blow? And as a bonus, what's the next Kento Bento video going to be about? We'll get to all of that, but by far the most common question was, where did all the dirt go? So let's start with that. This is the scene in question, the setup for the 4th and final escape. The illustration shows him burrowing straight down beneath the floorboards. But how can that be if there was no place to hide the dirt? Well, this guy thinks the only possible explanation is that he must have eaten it. Others have suggested that Shiratori must have pulled a Shawshank Redemption and over time emptied it in the yard. But as far as I'm aware, he was in isolation at all times, so that's probably not what happened. No, the answer is actually pretty simple. Just as with most building structures, the foundation of the cell isn't built directly on the surface of the soil, which means there was more than enough room underneath the floorboards for the dirt to fit. And sorry that this wasn't clearly illustrated in the drawing, but let's all blame Charlie to illustrate that. Another common remark was that this video must be fake, since there's no way anyone can break handcuffs with their bare hands. Well, this and of course, what makes this story worth telling in the first place is precisely because it doesn't seem real. But specifically about the handcuffs, remember, these were cuffs from the 1930s in Japan. Breaking them isn't too absurd an idea when you consider, and I'll quote this Reddit user, that Japanese iron at the time wasn't especially pure, mostly deriving from iron sand, which has a ton of impurities. It's likely Shiratori could snap the cuffs along the weak link. And on top of that, we know Shiratori had immense strength, making this all the more plausible. But what about his escape from the 20 kg solid iron handcuffs and leg cuffs after using the salty miso soup? Why didn't anyone notice the rust? Those metalwork guys apparently came every couple weeks or so to remove his cuffs so he could take a bath. By the way, sorry about the maggot shot. So why didn't they see anything? Well, the rusting was intentionally made obvious in the illustrations to demonstrate clearly what was going on. That was my call. But in reality, it wasn't so visible. And the way the specialist removed the cuffs every few weeks was by breaking apart the actual metal. So they never actually paid too much attention to the screws and bolts. Okay, so this one was kind of surprising to me. Quite a few people asked, how could there be 3 more years added to a life sentence, as was the case for Shiratori after his second escape? No, this wasn't a mistake in the script, nor does it mean that the prison keeps the corpse 3 years after death. Rather, the answer is that a life sentence is not what you think it is. A life sentence or life imprisonment can mean, yes, inmates remain in prison for the rest of their natural lives. But it could also mean for a fixed period of time, or until they are paroled. In 1930s Japan, I believe this period was at least 10 years. Nowadays, it's increased to about 35 years. And this may also help you understand how some criminals can be given multiple life sentences, like 2 or 3 or even 10 for the more severe crimes. Or, as the case with Terry Nichols, an accomplice in the Oklahoma City bombing, 161 consecutive life sentences. Okay, then what exactly was Shiratori's initial crime? The one that got him imprisoned in the first place? This was asked a lot in the comments too, even though I actually addressed it at the very beginning of the video. Prisoner Yoshie Shiratori had had enough. He was forced to confess to a murder he did not commit. But just to elaborate on this, Shiratori had a rough upbringing after his father died and his mother abandoned him at the age of 2. And he later found himself involved with a bad crowd, or seemingly some sort of gang, which may explain how he developed such skills as lockpicking, handcuff breaking, and prison parkour. Now, it was apparently these people who were the ones responsible for committing the murder, not Shiratori, but he made the mistake of tagging along. After they were all arrested, what happened was that the group turned on him and claimed he was in fact the murderer, and along with the police beating a false confession out of him, became the fall guy, and he was quickly convicted. Now that's apparently the story, but the circumstances surrounding this was too ambiguous for the courts, which is why he was still sentenced to 20 years at the end, as in he was cleared of the farmer's murder, a legitimate case of self-defense, but not the initial murder. So all that was what led to the events at the start of the video. As for what happened to him 28 years later after being released from Fuchu prison, by the way, this was the same prison that was referenced in the 300 million yen robbery that I covered in the Japanese bank heist video, a famous heist that took place 7 years after Shiratori was released from prison. I already touched on this a little with him meeting his daughter, which was a nice note to end the video on, but according to some sources, it appears, unfortunately, that his relationship with her was somewhat strained, which isn't all that surprising considering the stigma in Japan of having a relative in prison, and her never actually meeting him before. So after his release, yes, he was happy to see her, but he later ended up bouncing around Japan doing odd jobs in various cities, mainly construction work. And actually, why don't I play you the alternative ending that wasn't shown on YouTube, but only on the Nebula streaming platform? Just 14 years later, in 1961, he was released on parole. And for the first time in a long time, he was truly a free man. He decided to head back to Aomori, where it all began, and meet up with his daughter, who, by this point, unfortunately, was the only family member he had left. For his incredible escapes, Yoshie Shiratori became a legend, an anti-hero in Japanese popular culture, read about in books and depicted in movies. And even though Shiratori passed away in 1979 at the age of 71, his legacy lives on, perhaps the most, in the one place he wanted to leave more than any other, Abashiri Prison, or at least what has now become the Abashiri Prison Museum, where Shiratori has been immortalized as a mannequin display simulating his renowned miso soup escape. So I was able to end the video this way, letting the story breathe, because new Kento Bento videos all go up on Nebula completely ad-free. And this actually ties into the second to last question here, one that I see all the time in the comments. Was this whole video just an ad? And that's seemingly a reaction to how I do segues. And of course the answer is no. The sponsor has no say in the topic or script. I just work really hard to, well, first find a sponsor that I trust, one with a genuinely good product or service, and then somehow relate it to the story of the video. I think most of you by now get the whole tongue-in-cheek, smooth segue thing, but for those who seem to take it all a bit too seriously, I'd highly recommend Nebula, which you can get for free as part of a special deal if you sign up to CuriosityStream in the link below. So, while most of you already know what CuriosityStream is, a subscription streaming service with thousands of high-budget documentaries and non-fiction titles, Nebula is a different beast. It's a streaming platform too, but created by a group of smaller independent creators like Wendover Productions, Polymatter, Real Life Lore, CGP Grey, Kutzgesagt, and somehow this dude. The project is self-funded, not backed by investors, and we've managed to make this ad-free and with no dreaded algorithm. We started Nebula so we could have a place to try out new content ideas that might not work on YouTube, stuff that would likely get demonetized, as well as fun collaborative projects like Working Titles, a series where each episode different creators examine the opening sequence to their favorite TV shows. Polyphonic did Game of Thrones, Patrick H. Willems, one of my favorites, did X-Men, and there's still more to come, like Stranger Things, The Simpsons, and even The purpose of Nebula is not to pull people away from YouTube, but rather the goal is to create a sandbox where we can learn and experiment on our own terms. We've only just started, but if you want to experience and be part of helping us build this unique platform, well, it's now made easier thanks to CuriosityStream. CuriosityStream loves independent creators and wants to help us grow our platform. So they're offering all Kento Bento viewers free access to Nebula when you sign up at curiositystream.com/KentoBento. Of course, by signing up to CuriosityStream alone, you'll get access to thousands of the world's top documentaries like the Mona Lisa Mystery, The Great Train Robbery, The Real War of Thrones, Japan's Samurai Castle, and much more. So unlimited access to both CuriosityStream and Nebula is for a very reasonable $2.99 a month. And even better, by entering the promo code KentoBento during the sign-up process, your membership will be completely free for the first 30 days. And I don't know how many of you are still watching, but there's one more question to get to, and that's, what's the next Kento Bento video going to be about? Now, I don't like getting ahead of myself and revealing the title, as plans can always change, but I will say it's somewhat Halloween inspired, even though I'll be posting this after Halloween. And of course, it's a true story, as all my videos are, which makes this one all the more fascinating, but also shocking. This story will be set in the Hong Kong, Macau area, and is actually something that has affected me personally since I was a child, but that's all I'll say for now. I don't know if I'll do another one of these follow-up videos. This one just seemed to have a lot of questions, but please do tell me if you like this and want more follow-up content to future videos. I will say, it is nice to be able to express myself in a more relaxed setting for once, and not have to worry about meanderings and going off topic. And on that note, I thought I'd end this video on something completely random and unrelated. Last weekend, I was able to witness in person one of the greatest feats in human history, as Eliud Kipchoge became the first human to break the 2-hour marathon barrier in Vienna with a time of 1 hour, 59 minutes, and 40 seconds. And here's me filming the finish, and it was crazy and super cool, and just like Yoshie Shiratori, is a true example of what humans are capable of. Thank you for watching. Please support me on Patreon. Check out CuriosityStream and Nebula, and I'll see you again in the next Asian video. This video is made possible by Dashlane. Download Dashlane for free if you never want to forget another password again at the link in the description. Aomori, Japan, 1936. Prisoner Yoshie Shiratori had had enough. He was forced to confess to a murder he did not commit. Falsely imprisoned.
I'm Kento Bento.
This video is made possible by Dashlane. Download Dashlane for free if you never want to forget another password again at the link in the description. Handan, China, October 10th, 2006. It was getting dark. The vault manager of the Agricultural Bank of China was on edge. He was afraid. He felt something wasn't quite right. Yes, there were 2 security guards patrolling the grounds, which made him feel safer. But as vault manager, he needed to be sure himself. He checked the printer room, the conference room. There was no one there. No sign of trouble. Then he entered the vault, where everything was also fine. The money was there. The bank's security system was down. In fact, everything was just as he planned. He started counting the money, but he knew he had to be quick. The paranoia was starting to get to him. He shoved the cash in his duffel bag and swiftly left the vault. For Ren Xiaofeng, it was good to be the man in charge. It made robbing the Agricultural Bank of China that much easier. But he still had to be careful. He wasn't out of the woods yet. He cautiously made his way to his car, but then suddenly, flashlight.
Hello, huh?
It was the 2 security guards. They had spotted him. They glanced.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, Mr. Royal Dinesh. हाँ. I'm good, man. आप कैसे हो भाई? Are you? तो
परेशान तो नहीं कर रहे ना?
नहीं मैं मुझे कोई परेशान नहीं कर रहा है. Sure.
नहीं इस वक्त तो अकेला बैठा था पीसी में, बस ऐसे डीएम्स बहुत सारे आया था तो पढ़ रहा था तो देखा तो बात कर रहे थे. Yeah, I'm not like.
अपना ध्यान रखो भाई.
भाई मैं तो सही हूँ ना यार, मैं अपना ध्यान क्या रखूँ भाई.
फिर भी.
चल ठीक है dude. Like
हाँ.
वो तो मुझे डीएम कर दे.
हाँ बिल्कुल बिल्कुल.
I'm not checking Discord.
हाँ.
ठीक है.
हाँ बिल्कुल.
Yeah, and just बताना मुझे. I'll try to come back.
Yes.
मेरा को अभी समझ नहीं आ रहा क्या करना है. Okay. तो अभी मेरे पास बहुत सारी रिस्पांसिबिलिटीज आ गई एकदम से.
हाँ. दुकान का भी संभालना होगा.
हाँ मतलब पापा ने मुझे बताया भी नहीं कि क्या क्या था यार तो. Now I have to figure out क्या थी. Anyways. तो अब ये समझ नहीं आ रहा कि should I not pay this tournament, the upcoming tournament. So according to you, what should I do?
भाई देख लो भाई, मेरे को लगता है पहले रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है घर की, उसके बाद मतलब कि वो भी हो जाएगा, लेकिन अपने घर की सिचुएशन के हिसाब से एक बार देख लो. हाँ. ओ भाई 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 भाई. अरे यार क्या शिट गेम है यार। हेलो
हेलो, कौन है?
मैं पता नहीं कौन हूँ।
Down at his duffel bag and asked if he got the money.
कौन
You
है?
see,
अरे
it
मैं
was
हूँ।
smart to enlist the help of the 2 security guards, as it made him feel safer. He dumped the bag of
अभी भी
cash
नहीं
in
पता
the
चला,
car
स्टार कैसे बोल रहा है
and
जैसे पता
made
नहीं
no
क्या।
attempt at a getaway. Not
हाउस
yet,
पे
because
बोलना है ऐसे, हाँ
his
कोप
shift
भी
wasn't
पता
मैं
नहीं
क्या
क्या।
बोलूँ था? अरे यार तुम हटाओ तुम्हारा। उस पे अपना पता मैंने क्या बोला था।
क्या बोला था?
ये अलग ही दुनिया में रहता है, छोड़ कुछ नहीं बोला था मैं। और बताओ उस पे क्या चल रहा जिंदगी में?
बस कट रही है।
नहीं कट गई।
हाय राम।
और बताओ उस पे तू कुछ वो सेवक सुवक है क्या कहीं पे सच में?
अरे भाई पागल हो गया भाई। 14 साल का मेरे को घर से बाहर निकाल देंगे सेवक वेवक बनने जाऊंगा तो।
ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता, क्यों निकालेंगे घर से बाहर?
अपनी प्लेट तो रखी जाती नहीं मेरे से, सेवक बनूंगा मैं। ऐसा जूता मारेंगे मेरी मम्मी मेरे को। उस नहीं देख रहा भाई।
अभी तक बैटल पास भी नहीं लिया है। सीरियल खेलूंगा।
खास भी नहीं है यार बैटल पास में।
पिकैक्स एक अच्छा बड़ा, पिकैक्स ही अच्छे हैं, स्किन तो रद्दी है।
एक स्किन अच्छी है वो फीमेल वाली एकदम एंड में।
एंड वाला एक सेट अच्छा है, मेल वाला जो टियर 100 है उसका सेट पूरा ही अच्छा है।
हाँ टियर 100 भी अच्छा है काफी टाइम बाद अच्छी टियर 100 बनी।
वो टियर 100 अच्छा है।
रैग्नारॉक के बाद ये सबसे अच्छा लगा मेरे को तो, मतलब टियर 100।
रैग्नारॉक के बाद, रैग्नारॉक के बाद
नहीं यार वुल्फ अच्छा था
वो रैग्नारॉक भी हाँ वुल्फ भी अच्छा था, रैग्नारॉक तो बेकार था।
फर्स्ट उसका अच्छा था, फर्स्ट और सेकंड वाला वेरिएंट
सबसे बढ़िया था वो था कार्बाइड का दूसरा वाला।
हाँ ओमेगा तो था ही बढ़िया।
ओमेगा सबसे अच्छा है इस टाइम गेम में, सबसे अच्छी स्किन वो अच्छी है स्किन भाई। जब वो स्किन आई थी ना, जब बंदों ने अनलॉक की थी सबसे पहले भाई, रोंगटे खड़े हुए थे भाई, स्किन क्या चीज है भाई, ये लुक बड़ी अच्छी थी उसकी।
अरे ओमेगा सीजन 4 का लास्ट 100 टियर 100
भाई जब वो आई थी ना स्किन, जब बंदों ने अनलॉक करनी शुरू की उसका पिकैक्स, उसकी पूरा मतलब भाई खतरनाक लगती थी स्किन तब।
मेरे पास सीजन 4 का था ही नहीं यार, सीजन 5 से चालू करा मैंने।
मैं तो भाई जब सीजन गेम ही शुरू हुई थी तब से कर रखा है, घिसा रहे हैं तब से।
सीजन 3 का भी है, 2 का भी है।
2 का भी हाँ। जब साला सीजन थे भी नहीं ना तब से खेल रहा हूँ मैं। जब ये गोल्ड ट्रूपर आई भी नहीं थी।
ओए
कौन सी स्किन, रेनिगेड भी नहीं आई थी, नहीं आइटम शॉप तो थी नहीं, नॉट अवेलेबल लिखा था। कैसे खेल
हाय राम। मैं काफी बोरिंग सा जाता भाई अरीना एक समय के बाद। आओ थर्ड पार्टी करते हैं और क्या।
लगावे जब लिपस्टी या टॉप लागेलू।
बहुत साला है बे, मेरे को मारेगा। मुझे पूरा गेम अब पंडोरा ऐसा क्यों लग रहा है यार, ऐसा लग पंडोरा में ही खेल रहा हूँ।
हाँ ग्राफिक्स थोड़े कार्टून कर दिए, कार्टून थे पहले भी पर वो अच्छे लगते थे, क्रिस्पीनेस ज्यादा आ गई है।
हाँ बहुत ज़्यादा सैचुरेटेड कर दिया। क्यों भाई इतनी चोल भाई, क्यों?
मॉनिटर के ना जो ब्राइटनेस होती है उसको कम कर ले, कंट्रास्ट, तो
अच्छा।
थोड़ा ठीक हो जाएगा। नहीं तो आंखों में लगती है वही बड़ी
हाँ
ब्राइटनेस कम दी है। बच गया भाई।
बढ़िया है भाई, हम तो जाएंगे भाई जोन में। भाई इतना शॉर्ट पड़ने का भी इसको फाइट लेनी है भाई।
कल लूडू मार के गया भाई।
इसको तो भाई मैं मार के रहूंगा भाई, बहुत है इसको ना।
मैं पुश करके खेल रहा, मैं नहीं खेल रहा।
क्यों भाई, अरे यार थर्ड पार्टी आ गई ना यार। एसोल खराब साले का, क्यों भाग क्यों रहा है भाई? अब बोट लेके आ गई ना औकात। हाँ भाई क्यों, इसको तो भाई बहुत है भाई, इसको तो मैं मार के रहूंगा भाई, बहुत है ना तेरे को। इसको तो भाई मैं मारूंगा आज। है बे भाई, मेरी किल ले ली इस कुत्ते के बच्चे ने यार। अबे यार अरे यार मैं नहीं खेल रहा है ये गेम भाई, हद होती है यार भाई। ये क्या है ये सब? ये मैं साले चूतिया, अभी मैं मार नहीं होता यार। भाई मेरा पूरा किल उस बंदे ने ले लिया यार।
कोई नहीं, होता है ये तो
रोने वाली हालत है भाई इसकी तो। ये लग रहा है कब से खेल रहा भाई अरीना।
ऊपर से हंस रहा है।
गुस्सा बड़ा आता है, लाफ इट अप।
खोपड़ी खोल।
2 घंटे से अरीना खेल रहा हूँ भाई मैं, सिर्फ 500 पॉइंट बढ़े।
मेरी गेम ही नहीं जा रही कोई ढंग की, पता नहीं क्या
कर रहा है रट, मेरा मन नहीं कर रहा।
ये और हाथ बैठे